Okay, good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the media. Welcome to the PPP Weekly Press Conference. With me, as usual, is our General Secretary. He'll be reading a statement, after which we'll be taking questions. Yes?
Good morning, everybody. The statement reads as follows. There is a crisis of confidence in Guyana. The crisis has its genesis in the fraudulent May 2015 elections, resulting in the removal of the PPPC from office. The crisis of confidence is manifested in the fact that Guyanese people no longer believe that the future of Guyana under the APNU-AFC coalition administration will bring the good life promised by Granger. There is a pervasive national sentiment that the Granger administration is clueless, incompetent, and in a state of drift. The real problem in Guyana is not mysterious. It can be found in the modus operandi of the coalition administration, which is at odds with the Guyanese character, customs, and morals. The militaristic command style rule by the APNU-AFC has dampened, if not killed, the spirit and morale of the working people, the small entrepreneurs, the established business community, and the farming community. Political instability, a lack of understanding the Guyanese business culture, the command-style administration, putting a brake on transformative projects initiated by the PPPC administration, the absence of developmental-inspired initiatives, the lack of predictability and uncertainty in the future, poor understanding and appreciation of the socio-economic attributes of vulnerable groups, such as the Amerindian communities, and the impact of misguided socioeconomic policies on their livelihoods, have all contributed to the crisis of confidence, which will inevitably result in a further decline in the living standards of all Guyanese, and a collapse of the economy reminiscent of the Burnham-Greenwich administration. People are worried about their real lives and their future. Every social strata of the Guyanese population has lost confidence in the future of the sector in which they work and live. The productive sector in general and the agricultural and manufacturing sectors in particular are the hardest hit. The business community is reeling from the monumental losses, and the Guyanese spirit for hard work has declined considerably and replaced by a wait-and-see attitude, a get-rich-quick mentality, and a predisposition by some to suck up to those who walk the corridors of power, and by a who-knows-who mentality. A spirit of malaise has enveloped the nation, and many have been intimidated to the extent of genuflecting before the presidency, bearing an oath of loyalty for fear of losing either their jobs, their property, their land, or their freedom, or all. Guyanese must take note of these retrogressive developments and be prepared to fight to oppose them for the sake of our country's future. The marginal votes by which the APNU-AFC was catapulted into office do not give the APNU-AFC a mandate to do away with economic, social, and cultural gains won by the Guyanese people under the PPPC administration. Guyanese must unite and fight together with the PPP to preserve these gains, to win back through parliamentary and extra-parliamentary struggles a government of their choice through free and fair elections, supervised by a reformed GCOM and a reformed electoral process. Mr. Granger must address these deep concerns and the cries for justice and fair play by all Guyanese in his address to Parliament come Thursday, October the 13th, 2016.
Superfoods assures the best quality corn and mixed vegetables. Our decade of experience and reliability certainly will help your cooking experience. Our farm fresh corn and mixed vegetables are always picked at prime season and canned to perfection. Once you taste Superfoods corn and mixed vegetables, you will know the difference. Superfoods corn and mixed vegetables, highest quality at the lowest price. Call Superfoods today. Located at 8 Rumfeld Industrial Estate, Georgetown. Call 223-1034 or 223-1035.
Removal of vendors at Starbuck Market. The PPP opposes the move by the Mayor and City Council to remove vendors from under the canopy of the Starbuck Market. The excuse that a gun was found in a bag at the location is specious, if not deceptive. It is another attempt by King and Chase Green to appease the Granger administration, who worship at the altar of regimentation and order by militaristic command-style rule. Moreover, the move by City Council targeting the vendors once again will take bread out of their mouths and force them into illegal activities who knows where. City Hall, in its attempt to rid the Starbuck Market of criminal activities, will in effect be creating a wider societal problem by throwing more vendors onto the streets, forcing them to fend for themselves by any means necessary. Using the discovery of a firearm to remove vendors who, for economic reasons, must vend to survive and to take care of their families is disproportionate to the claim that the area is a haven for criminal activities. If this is the case, then the argument must be extended to the situation at Border, La Penitence, and other marketplaces in the city. What is required is the cooperation of the vendors and an increase of foot patrols by people-friendly, not arrogant members of the constabulary, as well as intelligence-gathering efforts through undercover police operatives working in collaboration with the city police. The PPP is of the view that both the APNU, AFC-controlled central government and municipal authority lack a clear understanding and appreciation of the entrepreneurial spirit of the Guyanese people. The heavy taxes and social ostracization inflicted on small business people as well as vendors must be strongly opposed, and a more humane and consultative solution found to the small man's problems.
Have you tried a new taste of Western fried chicken lately? Added flavor, marinated with rich seasonings and fresh ingredients, pressure fried to lock in the taste. Western fried buffalo wings, chicken strips and more, so take a bite into the good stuff today. Three convenient locations to serve you. Call the numbers on your screen for home delivery.
Unlawful instructions from Bulkan. The PPP denounces the contemptuous instructions issued by the Minister of Communities to the Mabaruma municipality, ordering them to take full control of all physical assets located within the municipality. it has come to the attention of the PPP that the Regional Democratic Council has been ordered by Bulkan to hand over the said assets or risk seizure. This is the second attempt by the APNU AFC to resort to the well-practiced bully tactics symptomatic of the PNC, the dominant partner in the alliance. In this regard, the appointment of Henry Smith as the so-called mayor of the municipality is in gross violation of legal proceedings currently before the court through a petition seeking a resolution of the 6 tied local authority areas following the March 2016 local government elections. The Minister of Communities should be charged for contempt of court. As far as the PPP and the regional administration is concerned, there is no municipal council nor mayor of Mabaruma. Until a legal resolution is found, the RDC is the legal custodian of the former Mabaruma, Hosororo, Kumaka NDC's assets. The PPP calls on the RDC and the residents of Region 1 to resist the bullyism and illegal actions of the APNU AFC. They should not hand over any assets to the Ministry of Communities, nor the REO, nor the illegally established municipality. A united and determined struggle must be waged by residents of Region 1 to ensure that the APNU, AFC, and their acolytes in Region 1 do not succeed in their sinister objective aimed at undermining the powers of the RDC nor any local authority structure and procedures as enshrined in the laws of Guyana. Thank you.
There you have the statements. Questions? Really?
One has to do with, slowly you spoke of the dire economic situation in the country and sectors that are affected. But what are some of your suggestions, maybe, to more or less rectify these issues? The second question, you mentioned...
Our suggestions, the PPP suggestions, will be made by our MPs during the debate on the 2017 budget.
The second question has to do with, you also mentioned that the APNU AFC was elected, the marginal votes by which the APNU AFC was elected to office. Is this an indication that the PPP is conceding defeat in the last elections?
No, we're saying that marginal votes through fraudulent elections. We said that at the beginning, has its genesis in the fraudulent May 2015 election. So the elections were fraudulent, and we've never accepted the results of those elections, and that's why we have a petition in the court.
Next.
Swatman from the Guyana. Could you say what yardstick is used by the party to determine people's confidence level in the David Granger administration? It's like persons are losing confidence in the...
You said what?
Persons are losing confidence in the government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what would you like to know?
What was the yardstick used to measure the confidence level? A survey was done.
I elaborated on them. I said that loss of confidence is manifested in the fact that people do not believe any longer that the good life promised by the APNU AFC will be fulfilled by them. That's by definition, how you define the loss of confidence. That a large majority of people in this country have lost confidence in the belief that they will benefit from this so-called good life that was promised. And then I elaborated a number of other issues here in the statement, which is a further indication of how and where the loss of confidence is manifesting itself.
Questions off the statement?
No. Any other question on the statements?
On the opposition last week would have released to the public, the media, I think it's 26 or 25 scandals, quote-unquote scandals of the administration, the current administration. In response, Minister Harman would have said that the PPP should itemize these things, and those that can be addressed in Parliament will be addressed there on the floor of Parliament, and the others can be addressed outside of Parliament. Could you say whether the opposition intends to take any of these quote-unquote scandals to Parliament to have them discussed?
No, because there's no need for us to do that. We are speaking to the people of Guyana. And there are two ways in which we speak to the people of Guyana, through parliamentary and extra-parliamentary means. The opposition leader office has chosen to speak to the people directly in respect to this matter. And as I said, in respect to the upcoming budget debate, I have to assume that in the course of those debates, or that debate, many of these matters will come up. But if Mr. Harman is in a denial mode, I can't help him. If he's denying what is said in that document, well then he can't be helped. He's clearly out of touch with not only his government, but the realities in the country. So I'm sorry for him, I can't help him.
Mr. Rory Cornell Jones from Kaijo News. The opposition would have highlighted a few scandals of your administration while in power in 2010, namely the milk scandal, the stone scandal, Gaisuko, the migrant duty-free vehicles, things like that. What would you have to say to those allegations?
Well, I think those allegations were well milked by the Kaijo News and the Standard News while we were the government. They had all the opportunity to milk all those allegations of corruption while we were the government, and they did so in collusion with the Kaijo News and the Standard News. Now the shoe is on the other foot. They really don't know how to deal with it, because you see Mr. Harman now is in denial mode, denying that these corruption scandals exist. So we have to face the attacks from the Kaijo News and the Standard News, and from the government while we were the government, and from the opposition, while we were in the government, in respect to those so-called so-called scandals that were raised. Well, they're in the government now, they have to face the music. And this is not contrived scandals. And this is not a question of scandal mongering. These are facts that have been published over and over again in different sections of the media. And everybody knows about them. Transparency International knows about them, Human Rights Association knows about them, the Private Sector Commission knows about them. If they weren't true, as the old man would say, why would the newspapers publish them? And so now the shoes on the other foot is their turn to face the music. That's the nature of governments.
Could you say what the party would have selected a replacement for the MP who signed Mr. Ramsey?
We have selected a person, and the procedures are already in place. Don't ask me a name, because I can't name the persons. I saw Mr. Harman was asked by a journalist for the names of his nominees, not his government's nominee, because I wouldn't say his, because I noticed, according to the man from the APNUFC, the minister, I noted that Patterson said that they have managed to clip the wings of Harman. I don't know how true that is. I noticed Harman didn't respond to that, but he has responded to the claim by Mr. Duncan that both he and Mr. Granger offered Mr. Duncan money, but he hasn't offered to resign from the commission. But I noticed he hasn't answered that one as yet. So he chooses which one he answers depending on the strength of the allegation that is put to him. So he was asked who are the names of the 3 nominees from the government to serve on the local government commission. And he clearly said that, he's not in authority to publicize those names as yet. I know the name. Zulfikar knows the name. And many of our colleagues know the name. But we are not at this stage ready to announce the name as yet until all the procedures are put in place on the parliamentary side of things.
Other questions?
So the question is, if the PPP could name its nominees to serve on the Local Government Commission, how come Harmon can't name their nominees as MP? I think you should ask them that question. Somebody should ask them that question.
Any other question? If not, before we close, I want to invite the media. On Wednesday, we'll be sending out a reminder. On Wednesday at 5 o'clock, we have a forum on corruption and the sleeping hotel. So the media are invited to cover that event. Thank you all very much.